now. But for instance, in a place like Dominica, and there are a few other countries that's similar to Dominica in that respect, no matter what you probably say about a government, it's like it has become a staged event. After people leave the gates and the show, they forget about it. It's no longer part of their life. So when they were here in Donna Summer and James Brown and so on, they were not Dominicans, they were not Caribbean people. So people dance to it and people, but if you have some people in your country, your next door neighbor is dancing to something else, it's different from when somebody in States is dancing to something else. That's what I want to draw to your attention, because a lot of times that Calypso is being threatened as a stage event.
You what happened.
Yes. Mm.
Let me tell you what. No, let me tell you what happened.
Right.
In all the Caribbean islands, the politicians were smart enough. Instead of praising this Calypso and saying how good a social commentary it is, they say, don't blame him. He's a member of that party. That's why he's singing against this party.
Yeah.
So people started to look at the Calypsos in that manner. Oh, if he had liked the NDP, he would not be singing that song. I know his mother, his father, they belong to the BLP or the CLP or whatever the name of the party, the DLP.
That's true.
And so they isolated to such a degree that they put the Calypsonian down as not really singing social commentary, but singing anti a particular party. That's
very good point.
Problem.
Yeah, that's very good point. Yes, very good point.
The people were allowed to say, look, this a Calypso. It don't matter who party you support, whatever it is. This is a big one. This is a good one.
Yes.
Believe you me, it will have the same impact as it did 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah. Wonderful point. I mean, because if you write a song, as you mentioned, about a road, the road affects everybody. So everybody should be concerned about that road. But then people put a label to that road and they say, well, how you're singing about the road because you're supporting a particular party. So I get that. That's a very strong point. People align what you sing based on a party as in the 80s and even in the 50s and 60s when Calypso started. It was again something that was affecting the masses. And even though nowadays, even though it affects the masses, it would seem that people align what you sing to a party, which is something that we have to stretch up and deal with in Dominica and other Caribbean countries.
But and Gabby, Doc, I'd like to this. In terms of you said that Calypso is not dying; it will not die. Yeah. However, the reality sometimes is that Calypso in itself is being challenged in terms of. You said Calypso has to be sustainable. It is sustainable. However, with the changes and the new emergence of AI, the new emergence of tech, the young people coming through, I'm just concerned about how do you attract that generation more into, because over here, I'm not sure how it works in Barbados. It's kind of difficult in a sense to attract young people. You find them coming through in the last couple of years. And of course, the Calypso King was won by a first-timer, a very young man who was involved in bouyon music, who still is involved. As a matter of fact, he has one of the biggest songs across the Caribbean. You might have heard it. Someone else. It's a bouyon beat, taking waves and making waves. Views are tremendous. Now, that guy didn't perform this year because he has other engagements because of that song and the popularity of that song. So there is always a challenge with Calypso, because Gabby, you must admit it that you are on your way out, whether you look at it or not. And then the younger generation that is coming has to pick that up. Now they have to pick it up from where you left it or where you hand it over to them. What is your opinion on that? What do you think about that?
And the gate receipt reflects that Calypso is going down. So
yes, okay. Let me tell you something in Barbados. put it in this way.
Right.
We used to have 2 songs for the finals, right? They drop it now to 1, okay? For many reasons. The semi-final crowds went down tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that had to do with location. Then we had it on the East Coast, but the police complained because they couldn't control crowds. They weren't sure. They didn't have the police force numbers to control the 10, 15, 20,000, 25,000 people that would go to the East Coast. And once we moved it from the East Coast, it never had the same, right? It started doing. However, I could tell you this, the Junior Monarch competition in Barbados is a very highly well attended competition for the semi-finals and for the finals. The young people, right, they're singing their songs and they're singing, I mean, like, you can't believe the quality, the standard. I could send you all the stuff and you'll see it. I happen to get lucky. I have my stepson, whom I had since he was months old, singing and singing well. Sparrow calls him his grandson. And he won the Calypso competition at 8 years old, the junior. Came back this year, he came third because he missed a line, not because of the song. He would have won. Came back then into the Rooty Stout Teen Talent, which is singing mostly pop songs and spooge and reggae and things like that. He won that. He went to Anaheim in California.
Yeah, Gabi, I just want to stop you just
bronze, silver, and gold.
Gabi,
in the world's
Gabi, can you just
arts competition?
Gabi, can you just pause?
Categories.
Can you just pause shortly?
I said all that to say this. The Calypso amongst the young people in this country is alive and well. You can't get a Junior Monarch finals ticket just so. Mm-hmm. You got to buy it in advance because it's a sold out show.
Okay.
Right? And in the other Caribbean, I'm surprised to see the junior numbers. But we put a lot of emphasis on that. We have workshops.
Okay. So can we just pause a little while? Can you get probably somewhere that we can hear you a little better? We're still having some effect. Go when you open. Instead of probably just more out of the room. If you are in a room, go in the open probably. We could hear you a little better. In the meantime, we'll interject our program with one of your songs, Boots or probably Jack don't want me to play on my beach, and we want to invite callers to call, so and Wackers could call out some numbers for people to call and join us with.
And of course, before you do that, the numbers you can call, and I am not sure how good you are hearing it, but I would hope that you're hearing it comfortably. But the telephone numbers you can call is 1-800-327-448-3284, 616-1327. That's a WhatsApp call. And you can call 448-3281, 448-3279. And for the overseas number, you can call 305-432-9744. So we'll take a break. We'll listen to one of Gabi's song, and we'll come back with him. When he gets into a better position, we can hear him even clearer. So Gabi will be back with you in 1 second after that song.
was bathing in sea water, but nowadays that is the horror. If I only venture down by the shore, police telling me I can't wait no more. Cause Jack don't want me to bathe on my beach. Jack, tell them to kick me out of reach. Jack, tell them I will never make the grade. Strength and security, bill barricade. That can happen here in this country. I want Jack to know that the beach belongs to me. That can happen here over my dead body. Tell Jack that I say that the beach belongs to me. Look, the beach is mine. I could bathe anytime. Despite what he say, I can bathe anywhere. The beach is mine. I could bathe anytime. Despite what he say, I can bathe anywhere. Tourism vital, I can't deny, but can't mean more than I and I. My neighbor's strength, very right here, but a tourist one could be anywhere. Yet Jack don't want me to bathe on my beach. Jack, tell them to kick me out of reach. Jack, tell them I will never make the grade. Strength and security, bill barricade. That can happen here in this country. I want Jack to know that the beach belongs to me. That can happen here over my dead body. Tell Jack, Gabby say that the beach belongs to me.
Yes, and a great song again by Gabby. It was very popular all around the Caribbean, and Jack is the name that is normally used for Americans. It's a general name, it's a popular name in America, and a lot of development was happening around Barbados and other parts of the region where the beaches were cordoned off.
Yes.
So it resonated with everybody. And you sound very good now, Gabby. You sound much better now. So keep that direction. I just want to invite our listeners to call some numbers here so they can join in the conversation that we are having.
Of course, the numbers are 1-800-327-448-3284, 616-1327 on WhatsApp, and 448-3281 and 448-3279. And for the overseas listeners, it is 305-432-9744. So we'll get back to Mr. Gabby.
Gabby, you mentioned some stuff. It's a little different in Dominica though, because our junior monarch competition had to be merged with some beats we call bouillon, and as a result of that, we had I think we have 5 persons singing Calypso this year in the junior monarch, and some 6 or 7 in the bouillon monarch section. So they had to merge it to accommodate the young people, sort of. What would you advise? What are your guys doing in Barbados that you'd advise that we do to get Calypso to get more popular again, to take its place again? Yes. It went back down again. Something happened again, Gabby. So get back to where you were. Right, better.
Can you hear me?
No, I'm hearing you. No. Try here, yes.
Can you?
Yes, no, we're hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, keep that position. Good.
Get some of the senior Calypsonians to mentor.
Yeah.
Mentor, right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. We're hearing you now. Yes,
we're hearing
still
you.
right.
Very clear.
Very clear now.
Yeah. Okay, get some of the seniors to mentor the youngsters. That's the first thing.
Right.
We have a school here that strictly is for that sector of the Barbados Community College is for musicians. We have a school just dedicated to that.
Okay.
So you have young musicians that play for others. We have heads of the trombone players, trombone, trumpet, that guitar, big drummers, college, well trained. You don't have to wait on the police band anymore and things like that.
Right.
So these young people have young people following them,
Okay.
and they're playing Calypso.
Right.
So the thing about it is that then we have workshops,
Mm-hmm.
where you teach the youngsters try to teach them how to write their own songs and things like that. So it's
Right.
taken very, very seriously.
Yes.
It's not like a situation where you put some little thing out there and hope
Mm-hmm.
that the young people come up and join. And no, we do it at a different level. And
Yes.
also we have sometimes children in the schools. We go into the schools and recruit youngsters and have teachers and music teachers in the schools too, who would suggest that this little boy or this little girl be in the junior monarch,
Yes.
and then come to the workshops, and then
Mm-hmm.
they get to see how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
And we have people who come and talk with them who are experienced, who are former Calypso kings or songwriters or
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Right.
So it's a better structure than what exists in some of our sister Caribbean territories,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps bring the Calypso up. So we have, for example, a young girl. She won the junior monarch
Mm-hmm.
and won the Calypso competition seniors at the same time, same
Right.
year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You
that's a
know,
very good idea. I think that our education people and people in culture should be listening to that. I mean, I try in my own way because I'm a teacher myself, but the support is not always necessary there as you do
I
in
teach as well,
Barbados. Right.
but I only teach folk music and Calypso and theater,
Okay. Wonderful.
right?
Wonderful.
And I've been doing that since 1979,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So I go into the schools. Right now, I am attached to St. Giles School. I was
Okay.
attached to St. Paul's School for 20 years. I was attached to Bay Primary. I'm going to resume that in the next term, right? But I have done classes in more than 28 primary schools
Mm-hmm.
and in more than 14 secondary schools. So, excuse me, I've also done lectures at UE and so on.
Right.
Um, not only on Calypso, but I've done a lot of research on
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean history and African history and so on. So that I do,
Yeah.
and I present, and you could see I write a poem every day, and I
Yeah.
share it
You
with my
share some with
friends.
me. You sent a couple
Right?
for me, and you did have an address to Dominicans last year when at UE Center, which I attended. So I know you are involved in that type of work. So that's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. So maybe we can take a leaf
Yes.
from that. So I think that's a good idea, and I hope persons in authority are listening and try to take a leaf from that Bajan book. One more question I want to ask before Wackers comes in. I was observing that many of the Caribbean countries, and we were at that point at one time in our lives, that we offered more points in our system to lyrics over melody. Some 15 years ago, 20 years ago, we have equated lyrics and melody as the same. So, for instance, in our judging system in Dominica, there's 35 points for lyrics,
Yeah.
35 points for melody, 20 for rendition, and 10 for presentation. Of course, there are subgroups and so forth that we can look at. But basically, at one time, prior to 1980, we had 40 points for lyrics and 30 points for melody. Now they are equated. Do you see advantage
How
and
many points
disadvantage?
you had?
We had
How many
40.
points you had for lyrics?
40, it was carrying the most, 40, and 30 for melody. But right now we have equated it and have
I would
35,
like to-
35.
I would like to offer this.
Yes.
At no time at all. So they say, oh, the lyrics is more important or it's just as important. No, it's not. I'll tell you why. In any genre, let's start with a genre that is not Calypso. Let's say a song like My Way, right?
Yes.
That Frank Sinatra made popular. It's
Yes,
written
I
by
did My Way, yes.
Paul Anker and another man. Now, listen to this. When there's a marriage between lyrics and melody, it's a beautiful marriage. Okay? So you have like somebody singing the song, and it goes, and now the end is here. And so I face the final curtain, right? That is marriage between lyric and melody.
Right.
But somebody can take that same song with a band, and there's a flautist or there's a trumpet player or a saxophonist or something playing it instrumentally and go pa da 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 dee, right? Or you or me could hum it while we were bathing. La 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 la, right? But at no given time would you hear any human being. And if you hear them, trust you me, somebody's going to come and pick them up and take them to the psychiatric hospital. If you,
Are you there?
Idea, you just got lost again. Get back to your same spot, Gabby. You have lost you.
If you're listening to us, Gabby, probably, yeah, because we'd just like to apologize to the people listening out there. Of course, we're having a little technical
and now
issues
the end
on
is
the
here
other side.
because nobody is. It's really harsh that we should, the connection is not good
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
at all. Can you hear me?
We hearing you now. We hearing you now.
Really,
Yes,
no,
yes. we
probably
hearing
you
you now.
just want to go
Okay.
over that last point you made.
But did you hear the point I was making?
No,
about
make
No,
it
the
again.
lyrics
yeah.
and
Do
the
it
melody?
again. Do it again.
Okay, I was saying that you would never hear nobody going Allah and now the end is here and so I face the final curtain. But you would hear them saying la da 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 da
Okay.
dee 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 because they're listening and working out and loving the melody. Nobody loves lyrics by themselves.
Okay.
There's a great marriage between lyric and melody, but when it's a divorce, the one that lives well is the melody in any song. I don't
Yeah.
care which one. It could be Arrow singing "Feeling Hot,
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 Hot,"
right.
because the two married together is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could play instrumental, ba-da-da-ba-ba.
Mm-hmm.
But you would never hear nobody walking around feeling hot, hot,
Right,
hot.
right.
No,
Yeah.
the lyric could never equate itself to melody. I had that fight in Barbados for years. I still have it right now. But thank God, since a few years back, they put melody at 40 and lyrics at 35.
Oh,
But for
interesting.
years, it was equated. They would never had the lyrics more than the melody, but they had them equated. They said, no, the melody is the superior one. That's the one gonna live well after the divorce.
Okay. Well, Barbados is a bit unique. I've been checking some other Caribbean countries, and they seem to have lyrics more. And for Dominica, we have equated both of them. But if they happen to be a tie, two persons tie, they use lyrics as the vehicle to break the tie. So if you have the better lyrics, as far as the judge is concerned, they use it to break the tie.
Wrong.
Okay.
The lyric can never supersede the melody in any genre of music.
All right.
You know, you have a song, okay? And let's say, I don't know, any song you could think of, let it be Sparrow singing, I'm a slave from a land so far, it makes no difference. But nobody walks around saying, I'm a slave from a land so far. I was caught and brought here from Africa. No. But we hear them saying, ba da da dee 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 da. Da da dee 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 da bum dee da. Because the melody is catchy.
Okay.
The melody lives well. There is no way. That thing is an egotistical madness to put lyrics, equate lyrics or to supersede lyrics. You're going to break a tie and say nobody lyrics is it. No, the melody. All the songs I sang, Jack and Boots and Hit It and this and that, you know, it is the melody.
Okay, let me give let's pause a while. We have a call on the line, Gabby, for you. So let's listen to what the caller has to say. There's a caller on the line. Yes, caller, you are tuned to Calypso Insight.
Apparently,
Oh, we lost the caller.
we lost the person. But Gabby, I just want to. Are you listening there with me? You there with me, Gabby?
Are you listening?
Oh, shit. I really like to apologize tonight with this interesting conversation with Gabby, which is
Internet issues. Intermittent and
internet
so on.
issues maybe in the night time. But Gabby, are you still there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
we hear
mean,
you.
I just wanted to concur on that last point you made about that marriage between lyrics
And
and
melody.
melody. I'm a musician, and I'm
Yes.
strong in melody. And a guy may come in for lyrical content that I feel based on what he's saying. You may want to find that perfect harmony and melody for him, and yeah, because and it's true because there is no way that a song like My Way could be done in any other melody but what it has. And then there is the other thing too, that sometimes people do it differently. Sometimes people compose melody first and then they find their lyrics. Some people, while they're doing lyrics, their melody comes to them one time.
Right.
Some people do it other
That's
way.
me.
That's you.
I did two context.
Yeah, I do two of them too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I agree that,
With me, it's always the two together.
right. So I agree that it should be a marriage between two, and I also believe that they should get equal pay regarding copyright.
Yeah. But also, Gabi, I'm sure you're not saying that
Oh, that,
we have a lot of songs in the Caribbean who have been treated that people like Chuck Dust, for instance. You might not say he's the greatest of singers, but basically, when he gives a piece of lyrical content and the way he crafts his lyrics, how do you look at that? Somebody sings a song very straight, okay, basically. They talk about the drums or whatever and things so. And somebody uses the whole masking and metaphors
that
and...
question.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
There, you have Calypsonians like Chalk Dust,
Right,
all rounder, Watchmen in the earlier days,
right,
right, and so on. They say Sugar Aloes,
right.
the other guy, the little short guy,
Crow.
Coco?
Are you talking of Crow?
Crow.
Yes,
They all sing melody.
right.
Yes, they have the lyrics. It's brilliant lyrics, very good topic, but they don't have you are a musician, so you would know. Their chord structure is predictable. You know exactly where they're going.
Right. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
So,
That's right.
so
That's
I
right.
can't rate that above a guy who has a good as good.
Yeah, I think we are losing you again, Gabi. Your direction losing you
well.
again.
So, for example, if I had to have Chalky or Crow or just a song that has both, that's my feeling.
Right.
And I have had quite a few objections to that, but not successful objections. You cannot decide this song, man, the lyrics hard, man, that really good. He really good, yes. So we have categories. So if you have 35 for melody and 35 for lyrics, what are you going to give him for melody? I'll give him all 35 for the lyrics. But in the melody I have heard, so he has to be more creative in that melody to score highly with me in melody. You can't go and give the guy 35, let's say give him 30 out of 35 for lyrics, and then turn around and give him 30 out of 35 for melody too. My question is going to be, where is his melody? What melody is he bringing? Is he bringing something fresh
But
to
I'm
the
going
table?
to change it around.
And then you have different...
If the person has one
and then you have
wonderful lyric,
subcategories. See, a lot of people don't understand this. In a song, you have to listen out for rhyme.
yes,
On rhyme line.
and you can't have rhyme line without lyrics.
Melodic flow.
You can't have-
Freshness.
Yes,
Attack. Right?
Right.
You have attack. You have unusual rhyme. Long rhyme, short rhyme.
yes,
Look at the melody and see, is it predictable? Is something we have heard before in
Right,
another
right.
song? Is it fresh? those are the factors that you have to look for. And once you find those factors, you're going to judge differently, and you're going to recognize that the melody is a very, very powerful component and the most dominant in any song.
Okay. Won't be the same be applied to lyrics. Lyrics doesn't have to be fresh also. You can sing a same topic and sing it 12 different ways. Don't you also have to be fresh
Yes.
in your lyrical content also?
Yes, I would say you can sing it in different ways. But if that person, this is somebody come up and sang about the cemetery. Then the next fella come up and sing about the cemetery gate. Then that fella come and sing about the coffin. The other guy come and sing about the guy who did the ceremony. The other guy come and sing about the church that the ceremony was done. It's all pertaining to the same funeral.
Okay.
But each one of them singing something different about what took place that day at that funeral. And that's what we have to look at, you know. So the guy could be singing about, I don't know, Dominica has really beautiful mountains or water, rivers. And 10 people sang about it. But if one guy come and sing, Dominica River, Lord, I love this thing forever. He's singing ba bam bam ba bam bam ba 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 bam ba, ordinary melody. But if a fella come up and sing Dominica River, I love it forever. It's flowing sweet. Oh my Dominica River.
It's more interesting. I agree. It's more interesting. It's more interesting.
It's
I
a
agree.
different thing.
It's more interesting.
Same topic, you know. Same topic. But one fella treats it with a melody and a feeling that is different.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting concept. I never really looked at it like that. Like I say, in Dominica, we sort of equate the two. I know some Caribbean islands, they give a little bit more to lyrics, as they used to. You had to fight it, as you said, in Barbados, to give more prominence to the music. Because what can happen sometimes is that a guy could be presenting a very interesting music or melody, and the band is playing good and everything else, and he himself is not a good singer, and it can affect how you bring out that kind of melody and so on. So that also can happen too. You can have a very good melody, but you, for instance, a lot of guys who want, for instance, like Baron, they always call Baron a sweet man of Calypso. He's very sweet and so on. But there are many times Baron in his early days, he took part in Calypso competition and did not win. Chuck Doss is not one of the best singers in Trinidad, but he has the most songs in Trinidad.
Yeah, the reason for that is because Baron never really sang calypsos that had great content. He
Right,
had a
so that's
brilliant voice.
right.
And the opposite is that Chuck Doss songs always had content.
Okay, right.
Sparrow in his competitions, content.
Right.
Gypsy, Juke, Stalin. The
Yes.
songs had content.
So that's why you
But Baron had the voice,
but not
with
much
no
content.
content.
Yeah. So that's why you're emphasizing the marriage between both content in terms of lyrics and music would be the best way to go.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
The content. You know, can you imagine? You got a singer like Baron, but look at the difference. Baron and Sugar Aloes have similar voices.
Yes, they do.
But when Sugar Aloes sing, he gets the thing over because he's singing
More content.
topics
Yes,
with
topic.
lyrics that people could identify with.
Right.
If you had given those same songs to Baron, he would be just as effective, but he never had the kind of quality Calypso competition songs
That Sugar Aloes had.
had.
Yes, I agree.
But I just want to, because we're coming up to more or less the end of our program, and it's so nice having you. We just wish that the lines were a little better, but I'm sure people grab the essence of your contribution, and we'd like to really thank you for that. But just before we go, I want to go back to the judging, because in Dominica, there is a criteria. There are 4 categories under which we judge. This is lyrics, melody, rendition, and presentation. However, upon selection of the judges, you find that the judges are strong in what they really are appointed to do, but not strong in probably the other components. For instance, you may find a judge that is strong in lyrics and not strong in melody. You may find another judge that is not probably that strong in rendition. I'm wondering if the system actually, because a lot of times I think people get surprises when the results are taken, because even last week there were, in my opinion, a couple of surprises based on maybe what the criteria, the judging criteria is. I just want your opinions on that in terms of moving forward in terms of judging. Are we satisfied that this is the best, or can we probably have, let's say, more than one person judging lyrics, more than one judging melody, more than one judging rendition, and more than one judging presentation? What's your opinion on that? Just your opinion on that,
How many judges do you have?
Well, normally we try to have an odd number. So for our quarterfinals, we have around 5. Our finals has 9 for sure. We try to have an odd number existing. So we had quarterfinals just Saturday gone by. We had around 5 judges. We normally have some shadow judges from some workshops just to be there, yes.
All right. We have 7 judges at the...
I know how are they divided up into?
finals. Okay?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that again, Gabby, because we lost you for a moment? Can you just go over that statement you just made there, because we lost you for a moment?
You were saying you had some judges for the finals, but we didn't hear what you said.
Right?
Repeat that again, please.
Most countries, most Caribbean countries don't have a category for arrangement. So arrangement gets 5 points, right? So 5 points out of that 30, or 5 points out of the
melody,
the rendition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You take those points and make it for the arrangement.
Right.
But you retain and sustain the one that is for the melody. So you know melody is more prominent and dominant, right? And that's one. Secondly, I'll agree with what Kitchener said many years ago. One judge should judge melody, one judge rendition, the other one judge presentation, the other one judge lyric, and the fifth one judge arrangement. So when you have that, no one judge has to worry his head about all those other categories. Have one single judge judging one single category.
Yeah. Well, Judge,
and it makes sense. It makes the judge's job easier, and also it makes for a fairer judging competition potentially.
Yeah. Well, that is true, Gabby. I think Dominica tried that once, and sorry to say, it was a disaster. Because why? Everybody judging the area they are strong at, but at the end of the day, the Calypso is holistic. It's not like a Queen competition. You have a swimsuit wrong and whatever. A man who has a good melody and does not render well, it will affect his melody and will affect his lyrics also. So why should judge him high on melody? The melody, in other words, Calypso is a holistic art form. So any area that you are weak in can affect the entire Calypso. I just want to ask you a question, if you would agree with that point. Because we tried it once in Dominica. That same thing you said. Make everybody specifically judge one, two, or judge lyrics.
No, not just to give them the job of judging lyrics or melody.
Okay.
You have to know prior to the time they sit at those desks with their pencils or pens or whatever, that they are experts in those categories. They're not just picked to just say, well, you do this and you do that. You know for sure that they know what they're doing.
Okay.
Secondly, do you all have a system where you throw out the highest and the lowest marks?
Yes, we do. And we are trying to introduce a segment in that when we categorize people, if they are good, they are rated between 30 and 35, or if they are poor, they are rated between 10 and 15. It has not been instituted yet, but these are more the things the association is looking at for future competition. In other words, my good can be I could be a very hard marker, and my good can be 20, and your good could be 30.
Yes. Yes.
So this can be also a problem in terms of the final results sometimes.
Not really, because if it all depends. If you are a low scoring judge, you are a low scoring judge. But to be inconsistent, that you low score here and then high score up there, and that will confuse the whole thing.
Yeah. For instance,
now, what we do,
yeah, go ahead.
Also, when you have a review, what we usually do. And sometimes, a lot of years they didn't have it. But you need discussion after the points.
Yes.
Because a guy might give a girl 95 and all the others give her 40 or something. That's not a low scoring judge. That's
well, we had
how they just saw her. If you have a review and say, or her 90s, 91, 92, 93, whatever, and this one judge scores her at 40, you can't consider him as a low scoring judge unless all the other scores in there are 40s as well, or 50. Then he will be considered low scoring judge. But if he does that, it means that his opinion, she doesn't deserve the 90 that the other judges give her.
Yeah.
Right?
But,
so you have to look at those things.
Just to give you a little example, just this year, we had a situation where it was said that one judge, where we never know who are the judges. We know the judges, but we don't. They are identified by numbers, so we don't know who are the persons. So we just say it happens to happen in Dominica. It happened this year also, that probably a gentleman was judged, let's say, between 1 and 9, okay? And one judge basically had that person at number 28. So you're wondering if that person was seeing the same show as the rest of the other judges who were on the panel. Exactly.
That happened to me once, before they had it. Let me tell you what happened before they had that reviews and so on. There were 7 judges.
Yeah.
And I came first on 5 judges' sheets. Second on one judge. And the other judge had me down at number 9, at number 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So clearly something went wrong with him. And where he added up his scores, I am down inside. And do you know that his scoring caused me to lose the crown by 2 points?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It happens.
So clearly, what we used to do, we would sit down in the room and you ask, who is your winner? Okay, the mighty glass bottle, the mighty, Dominica River.
Yes.
All right. And if everybody has Dominica River as the guy that won, then he is the winner. They're not counting the points there with him at all.
Yeah.
He is out there by himself. If you had 7 judges and 5 say that Dominica River is the winner, Dominica River is the winner.
Yes.
Clearly. And then you deal with number 2.
Yeah.
And that's how it could and should be.
Yeah.
Find out first, go back in the room, who is your winner? But if you're a conservative, that one judge saying, that the mighty Dominica River is the winner. Next one said, no, man, look, I think that Monkey and Chicken is the guy that won this competition. And they said, no, I think that. And you have 3 or 4 different opinions. Then you go and debate, and then you look at the lyrics and the melody, you look at the point system and everything. But if 5 or 6 of those judges say Dominica River is the winner, there is no dispute. There's no counting in the points. There's nothing. He is a clear winner. 6 out of the 9 judges have said he is the winner.
Okay. As we come to an end, there are 2 questions I want to ask you, burning issues that I like to say, or people ask the question: is Calypso a singing art form or art form where people sing? Because sometimes people figure, well, if you have a great voice, like a choir voice, automatically the judges figure, some judges that figure, well, he must get points because he sings well.
Calypso is a singing art form that the best lyrics and melody should win.
Okay.
I don't
Singing art
want
form, the best
people
lyrics
to say,
should win.
oh, they used to say all the time, oh, don't worry with that. We got about 8 good singers in Calypso. And then they start calling Sparrow and they say Baron.
Yes,
they say Sugar Aloes. They say Lord Nelson. You know, and they lower themselves down to about 8.
Yeah.
Right? And then they say, but it's not really about singing. Calypso is about singing.
Right.
It is about singing.
It is about singing.
But the content that you say
must complement.
That's important. You know, I mean, you can't.
The reason why that question was asked because some people
sing what we call weak lyrics or something like that, and poor melody, and because you have a sweet voice, you win. No, and the opposite. Just because you have great lyrics or great melody should not mean that you won the competition.
Right.
You have to put all that together. With performance, with diction, with expression, with microphone technique, you know,
all
with subject matter. You know, you have all of these are subcategories. You know, you have certain categories there, like lyrics, melody, rendition, presentation. But you
I think we basically got that. We lose you again. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, we want to apologize to listeners. Must apologize to listeners because Gabi, you have gone blank again.
And I think at this point we should probably
we should end up.
Yeah, because of this, I'm sure probably sometime in the future we'll have you again in a better setting, probably more clear reception.
Well, that's one to see is that we got some good information in that it's a holistic art form. We got certainly from Mighty Gabi. He also mentioned the fact that in Barbados and some of the other islands they give at least 5 points for arrangement, because we have heard some beautiful arrangement and nobody pays attention to the arrangement of the song, because when you come with a song, the song might be nice for you, but there are some things you might do with the music to give it some arrangement and give it some flair and a lift, and that is also important in terms of the art form. So we're really happy to have had you, Dr. Gabi, you know, and thank you for your work and your contribution to Calypso in the region, not just in Barbados, but in the region. You are a regional name, 9-time king. There are not many persons who have won that. Our king has won it 10 times, and I think Chokdas also won it 9 times. So you are in an elite category of guys who have won crowns in the country, you know. And so we want to say thank you very much for joining us. Next week we're going to have a junior monarch. I think we're going to have the reigning junior monarch. Mighty T is going to be with us, and we're going to try and highlight some of our past Calypsonians who were part of who are in the diaspora now. Guys like probably Hurricane, Shaky, and Venture, and so on. So listeners, you can look out for that. It was really a pleasure here tonight, Gabi, and thank you very much. We just hope next time you get your calls. Just want to, Gabi, if you have any final words you want to share with us, that would be wonderful. Just try and get yourself in a proper position so the Dominican people can really hear you and hear what you have to say.
Can you hear me now?
Right, we're hearing you, yes.
Okay, brother.
No, it went back again, Gabi. We have to get back in a position.
Well, thank you all for inviting me. Keep your Calypso up. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are exactly. Just stay right there. Stay right there. Yes.
Okay, good. First of all, I want to thank you all for inviting me. And secondly, please, Dominica, don't give up on Calypso, because Dominica has produced some of the finest Calypsos and Calypsonians we have ever had in the Caribbean. So we need to continue that. And thirdly, I just want to apologize to the listeners for the inconsistent sound that we have had tonight. And hopefully sometime in the future, I can come on again and be with my wonderful brothers who obviously know a lot about Calypso themselves. And I thank you all very, very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to thank you, Gabi, and hope to see you And of course, I'll continue to listen to your great songs, your great calypso, your inspiration, of course, your great example to mankind, to the human being, to Caribbean people, for what you stand for, your beliefs. I love everything about you as your mentor. Of course, you came here with your son. You had him teach. So there's a lot. I learned. I've been following you as a young man. And always believe in you and respect you. So thank you a lot, and hope to have you again one day soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, my brothers.
And listeners, I guess you were well engaged, so there was not much calls, but anyway, at least I'm sure you learned something tonight. So next time you'd hear Sarong, it would be in Stardom Tent on Wednesday, Wackers.
Yeah.
We should be around in Stardom Tent, so join us there at that particular event, 8:30 Wednesday, Stardom Tent, Wackers, and of course, Trudy should be joining us, God willing. So good night, Dominica.
Sorry, just if I go, sorry to the people who tried to call. I know you wanted to call, but I'm sure we were having a little difficulty. You were more focused on what Gabby was saying, and of course, you can ask your questions probably next time we meet.
Okay, thank you, Dean. But you can get some from Gabby like Boots. I don't know if you have Boots and More Boots. That's a very popular song. Probably could end our program with something. Well, anything from Gabby will be good.
I was feeling ill when I get my house call from Dr. Cassandra. Why she give me pain, now me whole body feeling better than ever. She gave me one injection in my midsection, I didn't have to pay. Then she gave me something and then me swallow fever van right away. One injection in my midsection, I didn't have to pay. Then she gave me something and then me swallow fever van right away. When you're coming back, Santa, when you're coming to give me medicine.
Be quiet, boy, I'm your doctor. I'm come here to make you better.
When you're coming back, Santa, when you're coming to give me medicine.
Be quiet, boy, I'm your doctor. I'm come here to make you better.
And she
I'm your doctor. I'm your doctor.
she took my hair, she took my there, she took my hair, she took my there, she took.
I'm your doctor. I'm your
I said, doctor, please come back quick because I can't bear it no longer.
Be quiet, boy, I'm your doctor. I'm come here to make you better.
Only you could ease our palpitating and cool down my pressure.
Be quiet, boy, I'm your doctor. I'm come here to make you better.
She say how you expect to feel better when you in such a